good morrow, and well met. How have you done since last we saw in France? I thank your grace healthful, and ever since a fresh admirer of what I saw there. An untimely ague stayed me a prisoner in my chamber when those sons of glory, those two lights of men, met in the vale of Anderson. 'Twixt Gines and Ard, I was then present, saw them salute on horseback, beheld them when they lighted, how they clung in their embracement as they grew together. Which had they, what four-throned ones could have weighed such a compounded one? All the whole time I was my chamber's prisoner. Then you lost the view of earthly glory. Men might say this, till this time pomp was single, but now married to one above itself each following day. Because the next day's master till the last made former wonders its. Today the French, all clinquant, all in gold, like heathen gods, shone down the English, and tomorrow they made Britain India. Every man that stood showed like a mine. Their dwarfish pages were as cherubins, all gilt. The madams too, not used to toil, did almost sweat to bear the pride upon them, not that their very labour was to them as a painting. Now this masque was cried incomparable, and the ensuing night made it a fool and beggar. The two kings, equal in lustre, were now best and now worst, as presents did present them. Him and I, still him in praise, and being present both, 'twas said they saw but one, and no discerner durst wag his tongue in censor. When these sons, for so they phrase them, by their heralds challenged the noble spirits to arms, they did perform beyond thought's compass. That former fabulous story being now seen possible enough, got credit that Beavis was believed. Oh, you go far. As I belong to worship and affect and honor honestly, the tract of everything, would by a good discourser lose some life which action self was tongue to, all was royal to the disposing of it, not rebelled. Order gave each thing view, the office did distinctly his full function. Who did guide, I mean, who set the body and the limbs of this great sport together, as you guess? One, certes, that promises no element in such a business. I pray you, who, my lord? All this was ordered by the good discretion of the Right Reverend Cardinal of York. The devil speed him! No man's pie is freed from this ambitious finger. What had he to do in these fierce vanities? I wonder that such a keech can with this very bulk take up the rays of the beneficial sun and keep it from the earth. Surely, sir, there's in him stuff that puts him to these ends. For, being not propped by ancestry, whose grace chalk successors their way not called upon, for high feet stud to the crown, neither allied to eminent assistance, but spider-like, out of his self-drawing web, he gives us note the force of his own merit makes his way a gift that heaven gives for him which bides a place next to the king. I cannot tell what heaven hath given him. Let some graver eye pierce into that, but I can see his pride peep through each part of him. Whence was he that, if not from hell, that devil is a niggard, or has given all before, and he begins a new hell in himself? Why, the devil upon this French going out took he upon him. Without the privity of the king, I appoint who should attend on him. He makes up the file of all the gentry, for the most part such to whom as great a charge as little honour he meant to lay upon. And his own letter, the honourable board of council him out, must fetch him in he papers. I do know kinsmen of mine, 3 at the least, that have by this oath sickened their states that never they shall abound as formerly. Oh, many have broke their backs with laying manners on 'em for this great journey. What did this vanity but minister communication of a most poor issue? Grievingly, I think, the peace between the French and us not values the cost that did conclude it. Every man, after the hideous storm that followed, was a thing inspired and not consulting, broke into a general prophecy, that this tempest dashing at the garment of this peace aboded a sudden breach on it, which is budded out, for France hath fought the league, and hath attached our merchants good at Bordeaux. Is it therefore the ambassador is silenced? Marry, is it? A proper title of a peace, and purchased at a superfluous rate. Why, all this business our reverend cardinal carried. Like it, your grace, the state that takes notice of the private difference betwixt you and the cardinal, I advise you, and take it from a heart that wishes towards you honour and plenty of safety, that you read that the cardinal's malice and his potency together, to counsel further that what his high hatred would effect wants not a minister in his power. You know his nature, that he's revengeful, and I know his sword hath a sharp edge. It's long, and it may be said it reaches far, and where 'twill not extend, thither he dares it. Bosom up my counsel, you'll find it wholesome. Lo, where that rock that I advise your shunning.